So I guess the first thing that was kind of interesting from talking to the guys is you changed kind of how your assistants are working a little bit. You don't have like just the big man coach, the guard coach. The like guys are kind of splitting that up. Kind of, can you talk about that?
Yeah, Kelly. So obviously, because I hire a new assistant, and Coach Revino went to Oregon State, and so I moved Anthony Wilkins up to associate coach, and then brought in Coach Esky from Harvard, and so I thought it was said, okay, what's best to fit our strengths for this upcoming season? Because we've been really good in our first 6 years here of player development, so I wanted to make sure we kept that, but I also knew what was important for our team. So maybe I haven't had the coaches focus just on a certain group of positions. It's been more about like, okay, offense, this part of defense, this part of rebounding, and then really go from there. So really focusing on those areas more so than a position group in a sense.
Rodney was saying that I think you guys had a 2-hour practice that was literally just defense, no offense at all.
Yesterday I felt, so on Monday I felt our offense was ahead of our defense. And Kelly, our teams have always been pretty good defensively, and we've hung our hats on the defensive end and have competed defensively, and it's kept us in games and helped us win games. But I felt at Monday we were just really just trying to outscore, just be an offensive team, and that's not our bread and butter. So yesterday in practice we did a straight 2 hours. We did the first hour and 50 minutes. They didn't do one thing on offense. It was all defense. They didn't touch the ball, other than rebounding, and in the last 10 minutes we did some shooting. But other than that, it was straight defense. Because I just wanted them to understand, hey, we can't get cool, casual, and cute and think we can just kind of be this cool, casual, and cute team and just go up and outscore teams. We gotta grind and defend and be who we are with our competitive fire and excellence, and that all starts in the defensive end.
The guys were saying that this is going to be a team where there's more like 6-7 guys at 8 to 12 than having a 15, 18 point per game guy, like having a guy. It's going to be much more spread out. Is that kind of your view of it?
Kelly, I have signs in the gym that says the star of the team is the team. That's our star this year, is the team. It's not an individual. The star of the team's got to be the team. I've said it from day one, the open man's the go-to man, the go-to man's the open man, and that is a big thing for us. And but for us, we might not have that one guy that you can just say, hey, take us to, carry us to this part of the, to the promised land. We've got to do it through a collective group and through a whole, and that's where I go back to the star of the team's got to be the team. Now, eventually from there, individuals will rise to the occasion and can become individual stars, but for us to be really good, the star of the team's got to be the team.
Can you talk about the decision you added 2 guys late as signees, and it seems like maybe they're not necessarily guys you count on this year, but just kind of some interesting developmental guys. Can you talk about those 2? I
think Kirill has got a chance to be really, really good. I think he can help us some this year. I think his best basketball is going to be when he's a sophomore and beyond. He's got a chance. I mean, a month and a half ago, he was playing AAU basketball and he was planning on going back another year of high school. I mean, he's got a chance to be good. He does, and he's 7 feet, 240. He's got skill set, so I'm excited about him. But there's no question, when he's a sophomore, I think he can be really good, especially in our system. And Fred's can shoot it, and he knows the game. He's just physically, just not there yet. He's just not ready physically. I think he's going to be good down as we keep moving forward. It's hard for him. I mean, he goes, again, he's 18 and he was playing international basketball, and he even said he rarely ever lifted a weight. And so he just has a really thin frame and needs to get the physicality and use of the physicality, but he can shoot the ball. He's been banged up a little bit with some injuries here and there, and that's part of the physicality part that he's got to learn and get stronger in the weight room. But he and Kirill both missed all summer. So they're behind in those areas, so it's just going to take a little time to catch them back up.
With Davon, obviously his season ended in a way you wouldn't want with the concussion.
Yeah.
But just kind of how's his development been, and how's he bounced back from that?
Kelly, I talked about Bubba Parham, that if he didn't get injured, we would have gone to the tournament, but we'd have had anywhere between 4 to 6 more wins if he didn't get injured. But that would have been the same thing with Davon towards the end of the year. He was really turning the corner and playing at a high level, and he got hurt in the pit game, and he was out the rest of the season. And losing him we probably would have had to beat Syracuse the next game, and we had a couple other opportunities, but not, being another guard down. So, our margin for error is slim to none, and that's where we got to, knock on. We've got to stay really healthy, stay in good with our bodies, and we're due for that. And again, we just got to stay great as a team, and Davon's a big part of that.
Josh, if I could sneak one in
real
quick, just about the overall state of college basketball. How much concern is there about it becoming pretty much just a niche sport, like a 1 month?
Well, no, look, I just don't think there's any other way around it. I mean, college basketball, the month of March is special. However, football is going to supersede. There's no way around it. I mean, football's numbers are what they are. You could have the top 2 teams in college basketball competing against each other in a game, and just a regular old football game, their numbers are going to just supersede even the college basketball number if it's not in March. So I don't think we need to be against that. I think what we need to do is how to join it and be part of it in some way, some form, to continue to keep things moving forward. But the March is special. How to duplicate that through, when you're competing against football, I just think that becomes a very tall task. And I think the only way to do it is you've got to embrace the football part and how to combine it, whether it's playing games leading into the football game or whatever it may be. However you got to do that, you got to figure out ways to do that.
And obviously the ACC was built on basketball.
Yeah.
Historically, all that. But where's basketball's place in football first?
Well, look, I would say the ACC's, obviously the league is such the history and everything. I mean, the ACC is the best basketball league in the country. And obviously, your question is probably even better for Commissioner Phillips on that. But I would say that he would probably say how important football is. I mean, basketball is obviously critical. We all understand that, but we also understand that football is a big driving force, and sometimes the best way to help basketball is football to be successful. Yep.
Josh, if you've been asked this, I apologize, but you mentioned the challenge of replicating March during the regular season. Does March need to change, or should March be expanded?
I think March needs to be expanded. I think there be more teams in the NCAA tournament. I think it's, I think March is special. I think if you're the fan or the, maybe a media member or whatever, you like it where it's at, you say, hey, 68 is, enough. Some people might say 64. If you're talking people in the profession, we would want to all add teams to the tournament. I mean, if we could double it to 128, or at least get to 128, we could do that. I think that it would be something, because right now, I mean, it is everything. It revolves around getting to the tournament, and it's hard to get to the tournament. And heck, you look at last year. If Virginia Tech, they told us this. If Virginia Tech didn't win the conference tournament, they weren't making it. And if Texas A&M beat Tennessee in the championship, Notre Dame was out. That would have left us with 3 teams in the NCAA tournament, and that was a real possibility. Meaning that 3 out of 15, that's a hard number if only 3 made it. And so the objective is how do you get more teams in from a league standpoint, but how do we get more teams in even for an overall standpoint? And I would love to see it to go to 128.
I got to take you to the ACC network
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.